going on, my boys? It's Kaiser and KDP here, aka KDP, aka the Monkey Pokemon Specialist. And while we're on the topic, I gotta say, justice for Monkey Dory, man. Why does everyone hate this little guy? I love him to death. Another monkey Pokemon to add to the list. But that is not what today's video is about. So as all of you who are going to be watching this will know, it was Pokemon Day a couple days ago. Some people loved the announcements. Some people were disappointed, like every year. Not me though, mainly because me and Haywire made it on the Pokemon Center website. Way, look at us. So I just needed to mention this somewhere so it got immortalized. But the main thing from Pokemon Day that I want to talk to you guys about today was the two new Paradox forms we got. Of course, I was being Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, the Paradox forms of Suicune and Virizion. I love these guys to death, but I will admit, Scarlet does stay winning. Both of them have dope new attack animations and shit, don't get me wrong, but Walking Wake is something else. Honestly, top 3 Paradox mon, easy. But also, why is the dude so big? He literally towers over any other Pokemon you can walk around with. And I'll be honest, I kind of love it. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about today isn't what they are, but what they're not. Cryptic wording out the way, of course, what I'm making reference to here are the drawings that can be found in the research books from Area 0 in the school's library. In those books, we see Paradox versions of Virizion and Suicune for sure, but not in the forms we currently know. That's right, in the pages of these texts, we see a Suicune with the jaws of an Entei and the leg markings of a Raikou. The same goes for Virizion, where it adorns the neck of a Cobalion and the body, bulk and antlers of a Terrakion. So it goes without saying, when you compare these drawings to the Paradox ones we currently have, they are nothing alike. Now, this has led a lot of people to come to the conclusion that we're almost certainly going to be getting Paradox forms of Entei, Raikou, Cobalion, and Terrakion. I'm not going to sit here and act like this is some amazing revelation I've just come to. A lot of people have beat me to it online. But what I do want to talk about goes a little further than that. If you watch some other PokeTubers, for example Birdkeeper Toby, you'll see that he's come to a conclusion that these drawings come from a likely scared and frightened researcher or artist who saw one of these two Paradox trios down in Area 0 and freaked out, combining his recollections of the creatures into one drawing when he got to safety. Now, I want to make absolutely clear that I am by no means trying to dunk on this theory. In fact, I think it's highly likely that this could be the case. But I do have another idea. So heading back to the drawings for a second, if we compare these drawings of the Paradox Suicune and Virizion to the drawings of Iron Treads and Great Tusk, what this tells me at least is that the artist is very clearly capable at drawing from memory, as these Paradox Donphan sketches are pretty one-to-one with the actual Great Tusk and Iron Treads. But we know that, both from what we're told and experienced in the game, that all the Paradox Pokemon are pretty aggro and will attack anyone they see on sight. The Paradox Donphans here being a huge example of this, considering they're one of the Pokemon that do ambush you when you get down in the depths of Area 0, but also because they're on the very short list of Paradox Pokemon that actually manage to escape Area 0 on their own. So at least lore-wise, they're clearly comparable in might, power, and ability to the Paradox Suicune and Virizion we see. It's for this reason that I believe that even if the artist was in a hurry to get away from either trio, if they saw them as a 3, they would have almost definitely remembered them as a 3 and drawn them as such. Because this wouldn't be the first time they had to escape one or even a group of raging Paradoxmon. With this now established, I want to move on to my next point, and a conclusion that a lot of you might have come to by now, and that being that the fused forms of these trios are in fact real. But then how? And why aren't they fused currently in the dens that we just caught them? Now, something that I think a few Pokemon fans have forgotten about by this point is that fusing Pokemon isn't just a fan game concept you keep seeing all over your TikTok and Twitter feeds.
Wait, hold up, bro. Agislash and Magikarp? What the fuck is that fuse into? Magikarp!
No, this is a concept that has been with the series for almost 11 years now. Jesus Christ, Black and White 2 released 11 years ago. I'm getting so old. In the Unova lore, we learned that Kyurem used to be a lot different to how we see it today. Even different still to how we see it in Black 2, White 2, where it confused with either Reshiram or Zekrom. Yes, in ancient Pokemon history, Kyurem, Zekrom, and Reshiram were all once one being, simply known as the original dragon. But since these times evolved, they've now split into the 3 separate pieces that we know today. But why am I glass-burning Unova history to you? Well, it's simply because it's not unprecedented for a Pokemon from years in the past, or possibly in this case, years in the future, to have been a being that used to be one whole, but has since split and separated into 3 separate forms that we now know in this current day. So in the past, Kyurem split because of the Unovan War of Truth versus Ideals, and now the Beasts and Swords have split because, well, who knows really? I suppose we'll find out something when the DLC finally drops, but until then, we're kind of in the dark. That is, of course, if this ends up being true. Obviously, it's well-known Johto lore for the Beasts, that Ho-Oh gave them life after dying in the burnt tower, and that's what created the trio. While yes, this could still be the case, it could also just as easily fall in line with a lot of other Pokemon history, where it just ends up being a folktale. Hell, you only even ever hear about this story in the one town in the whole Pokemon world that's famous for putting on shows and dramatic recreations of past events. So don't think me saying this is too far out of left field. But one last thing to add to my theory before I let you all escape my mad scientist ramblings is, well, another mad scientist. Now, going back to Unova one last time, we all know that Team Plasma has been long since disbanded by the events of Scarlet and Violet, with many of its members disappearing and going into hiding. All but one, Colress. Chorus, who we meet after the events of Black and White 2, taking a vacation in sunny Alola. Chorus, the scientist who took part in the plan to fuse together Kyurem with one of the Unova box legendaries, and who, not just on a moon, uses the knowledge that he's gained from researching the DNA splices, creates the N Solarizer and Lunarizer, which fuse Solgaleo and Lunala respectively with Necrozma, to make it achieve its alternate form, and who since Gen 5 seems to have a knack at appearing in every other evenly numbered generation. So who knows, maybe he'll continue his vacation to the sunny Paldea region. Spain is a pretty common holiday destination after all, but obviously this is all speculation, so what do you guys think? Do you think the fused version of these trios are sketches from a frightened artist, or do you think we'll be able to see these versions come to life in either the Teal Mask or Indigo Disc DLC? Either way, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching, and please do like if you've enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. I've been super consistent with content recently, and I really do think we'll be able to hit 1k this year with your guys' help. But with all that being said, people, I've been KDP, you've been my audience, this is my outro, and I'll see you in the next video, stream, or whatever I make. Goodbye, people!